Okay, this is how your 3D coloring of the haunted house is gonna come. Comes rolled up on this great big sheet. The first thing you're gonna wanna do is color it. And each of the pieces on here are labeled so you'll know exactly where everything goes after you cut it out. And we like to use Crayola markers and Crayola crayons. You can use colored pencils, you can use about anything you want, but don't use Sharpies. They are not as good for coloring. So stick to the watercolored markers and you will be good to go. Okay, I'm gonna grab some helpers to help me get this colored and let's get to it. Okay, we've got our sheet all the way colored and it looks awesome and I can't wait to get it put together. So our next step is going to be to cut it out. I like to use scissors sometimes for the big pieces, and I also like to use an X-Acto knife. For these razor blades work really well for getting around the glue tabs, and you can just move a lot quicker. So we are going to start cutting out and just start putting and gluing together piece by piece. So here we go. Okay, so I like to start off by just sectioning some of this off so it's a little bit easier to work with. So we're just gonna cut a section here and then start piecing it together. Okay, so far I have cut out the left tower. We mark them right here on the glue tabs so that it's easy to keep track of which piece you're working on. And I have cut and folded the right tower, and now we're gonna glue it together. All right, and let's get it glued. So again, folding on dotted lines, cutting on the solid lines, and these are also gonna be our glue lines here. A quick tip for when you guys are gluing your pieces together. As you are aligning the pieces, I like to reach my hand straight down inside these big squares and just press it against the table to get the glue to really stick down, and then also to flip it on its edge so you can see this is the edge that got glued. To lay it down on its side like that, reach your hand straight in and just push that seam down and just push it up and down a few times to just really give that a good stick so it'll be stable. Okay, so now we've got our 3 main pieces of our haunted house, and we're gonna get putting it together and it's gonna look so awesome. You guys are gonna love it. Okay, before we glue these 2 pieces to the middle part of the house, we didn't color all the way down because we knew this was going to glue over. This is the back of the house that has the 2 windows. This big empty space is where the front of this piece is going to stand off. So we will do that after we put it together. All right, I wanted to show you how the roof works. So for each of these 2 side pieces has 2 pieces of roof. And as you can see, one is going to be slightly bigger than the other. And the shorter piece of the roof, is gonna go on this side, and the longer piece of the roof is going to go on this side. Now, before you glue it onto this piece, we're gonna glue it to the fascia first. So I'm gonna show you what that looks like. Before you start to glue, line up which side goes where. As you can see, this has a lot of extra glue space, so this is clearly the short side, and that's gonna get glued on this side. And this is our longer roof line, and it's gonna get glued right there. So let's glue those down first. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing to the other side and give that just a second to glue, and then we'll affix it to the house. So find the fascia that goes on the back end, and we'll glue those pieces down as well. Okay, once your roof is all glued to the fascia, it's going to look like this. Now let's attach it to the house. Let's make sure we're matching the right roof line to the right side of the house. So remember, this pointy down part is that shorter side of the roof, and that's gonna go on the inside. So this is the correct roof and fascia for this house. So let's glue these tabs. I'm gonna use my scissors, closed, just to help push this and line those tabs up. You see that? I'm just gonna be pushing the front of the house into the fascia there with these scissors. That one's getting stuck, so we're just gonna try to pull it off and get it pressed to where it needs to be. So I'm just putting pressure on the inside of the house where my fingers are on the outside, just to get that all tight. Okay, so hopefully, I'm not sure if this is lined up good enough for you guys to see in there, but as you can see, we've got this pretty much all glued down. If you see an edge coming up, throw a little more glue on it. Okay. And then once that's all glued, we can put a bit of glue here at the top and just close that little gap. Just hold that there for 10 seconds or so. I really like this glue. This is just a washable Elmer's school glue. It's not the purple one. I found that the purple one that goes on purple and then dries clear doesn't work as well as this one. So I do recommend that glue. Okay, there is one side of our house all complete. Pressure again there, if you see it coming up. Okay, so this side is going to be ready to glue right in there. We'll make sure the fascia stays up on top of that pad, on top of the middle piece there. Okay, so now we're just going to do the same thing to the right-hand side of the house. We'll glue the fascia to the roof and then put the roof onto the house. Okay, before we glue the side pieces to the main part of our house, I forgot about the front door. We've got to put the front door on first. That'll just make it easier. So we're going to push these aside just for a minute, and we're going to work on the